Drivers, to your cars.
Taking the online race broadcast performance to the next level. This is the Full Velocity Network.
And a very pleasant good evening. Welcome to the Full Velocity Network, live at the Phoenix International Raceway, the Jewel in the Desert, race number 9 of the FTF Jones Cup Series playoffs. And Well, the last final elimination before we get to ASUS Championship Night 1 week from today at the Homestead Miami Speedway. Thank you out there, everybody, YouTube land, for tuning in this evening. What is going to be an electric night here in Phoenix. My name is Phil LaCasse, along with my partner tonight, Too Tall Todd Stanton down on the controls. Got a two-man crew here this evening. Joe Allen going to be off here for the next few days or so on assignment and getting everything all back together on his end. So Todd and I are going to carry the show here tonight, and it's going to be a really quick show here at the Phoenix International Raceway. We're a little behind the eight ball, so before we get these cars on the racetrack for what is going to be an awesome night at Phoenix, 150 laps is going to be the scheduled distance. Let's start with trackside for the playing of tonight's national anthem. All right, back at the Phoenix International Raceway for the running of the Amazon Prime 150. Race number 9 for the FTF Jones Cup Series playoffs. Going to be an awesome night. 150 laps going to be the distance. Stage lengths tonight, 40 laps, and 70 laps will make the conclusion. We have 8 drivers competing here, 2 locked in by a win. It's going to come down to an electric night. You know, Kevin McAdams, Taylor Morgan's guys locked in. The likes of Derek Justice, Colin Keister trying to join them, and 4 very hungry drivers. David Schildhaus, Chris Wetz, Maverick Morrow, and Jason Justice in a do-or-die, winner-take-all situation here tonight. But we're about to get the Amazon Prime 150 under the green flag. But first, let's know what trackside for tonight's command.
Drivers, start your engines.
And with that, that's going to bring 23 of the best drivers in the NR NASCAR 2-on-3 community to life. Here is your starting lineup. On the pole aboard car number 26 is going to be Kevin McAdams. To his outside, the 71 is Chris Wetz. Row number 2, Taylor Morgan's in the number 36. Matt Vassar aboard car 17. Row 3, we find Corey Carpenter. Maverick Morrow rolls off outside row 3, needing a win here tonight. Row number 4, the Flying Deuce of Tom Sylvain. And to his outside, the Bud Light Ford. Number 16 is Jason Justice. Brandon Lawson's going to roll off 9th aboard number 9. Jordan Buster's going to roll off 10th aboard car number 8. 11th star of the Sprint Chevrolet, the 53 of Justin Malello. Outside of him, the Baskin-Robbins Ford, the 31 of Derek Justice. Next row back, 13th, the 0 of Alex Roof. The 00 tonight being piloted by Robert Baucom. Matt Doe will roll off 15th in car 92. The champ, David Schildhaus, badly needing a win here tonight. He'll start 16th. Sonny Tallman, Noah Carmichael, Chris Barnes, Colin Keister, Brandon Hawkin, and Doug Locker will make up the field here tonight. For the first time, we are green flag racing into turn number 1 and 2. Outside lane prevailing by Chris Wetz in the outside. He'll bring Kevin McAdams now to that second spot. Outside, Matt Vassar aboard the number 17. He'll clock in to that third position, put Taylor Morgan's now back to 4th. These guys going to all slip slide to the inside of the racetrack. We'll see if we can't bring in my buddy, our partner for tonight, TV Todd, down at the control booth for FBN this evening. Todd, welcome to the show. I know you're going to have your hands full down there tonight, but we'll talk to you all we can here as the night progresses here at Phoenix.
Yes, indeed. Going to have my hands full tonight. These guys lightning quick around the speedway. Second time on NASCAR 2-on-3 controls and having a pretty good go of it this time. Phil, I don't want to say too much, but it's really busy down here compared to what I'm used to.
Yeah, absolutely right. Todd going to man the controls tonight. A quick two-man booth for what is going to be an awesome show. Looking up to the front of the field, is still led now. It's Kevin McAdams now up to the lead in the 26. Chris Wett's going to slide back to that second spot using the kink on the backstretch as you normally would see through the versions of Phoenix that you've seen the progressions of over the years. These guys going to run way down to the apron there as you'll see great pictures off of turn number 2. Wett's the 71 will roll up to second. Matt Vassar the 17. He's now found his way to the third spot. Also bring forward the 57 of Maverick Morrow, Todd. He's one of those guys, Maverick on the outside looking in. He badly needs a win if he's going to advance to ASUS Championship Night next week. And he's a guy at Phoenix who could never count out.
Yeah, definitely Maverick. Not a guy that you want to count out here at Phoenix. Not a guy you want to count out, period. And that number 57 machine, he's got to win to get into the show next week here at Homestead, Miami. And he's going to do everything he can. He's kind of got that do-or-die attitude here tonight, is Maverick Morrow. So a lot of these guys gunning for the win. Kevin McAdams, I'll tell you right now, is going out on an exclamation point. He's driving with a damaged hand. The number 26 machine just doing everything he can. He's hurting. He's got all kinds of issues in that 26 machine, but he's going to soldier it out. We tried to bring him up here in the booth, Phil, but it didn't quite work out for us.
No, we were going to try to make Kevin McAdams a third guy of our crew tonight. As Todd said, he's driving wounded out there aboard that Doritos Chevrolet. Kevin, very comfortable. He won 2 weeks ago. We're going to see him as one of the 4 guys racing at Homestead for the championship next week, a part of ASUS Championship Night. So really with nothing to lose here tonight, he kind of, said all day he planned to start and park the event, but went out and practiced, had a really good run, felt good in qualifying, put it up on the pole, and he said he's going to try to give it a go for all 150 laps here tonight. So Kevin McAdams, a guy, he's an FTF champion in past years. Of course, our buddy, the champ, David Schildhouse, defending champion of the series. David, one of those guys, Todd, needs to win. He's 5th in the standings, but, he's got a big gap between himself and 4th place Colin Keister. It is 26 points to the good between 4th and 5th in the standings. David Schildhouse badly needing a win here if he's going to advance to defend that championship next week. But you look at the current standings there, Todd, the champ finds himself mired way back in 13th.
Yeah, definitely, guys. Currently, as you can see, the screen graphic on our screen there of the guys that have been eliminated through the round of 16, the round of 12, the round of 8. What they got to do here, who's out of the cut right now, and it's one of the guys, Jason Justice. You got the 57 of Maverick Morrow. You got another guy out of there, which is David Schildhouse and Chris Wetz, also winners of season. So these guys on the outside looking in, all these guys pretty much have to win tonight there, Phil.
Well, they certainly are. But if you're guys like, say Kevin McAdams and also Taylor Morgans, you're going to feel comfortable now. Tonight, basically a night to go out and log laps. I mean, those guys, regardless of what they do, they're going to race for a championship next week. You see guys like Derek Justice, 3rd in points, Colin Keister in 4th. They got comfortable point margins. They're going to hope that one of these guys, 5 through 8, doesn't put themselves in victory lane. That will shrink that field down even more. But we have a caution flag now, Todd. First time tonight, lap number 10 in the books, and not sure where it all took part, but oh boy, this could be a developing situation here. Looks like there may be some issues aboard the Amazon Ford. The number 20 of David Schildhouse looks like he may have drove it down to turn number 3. I'm trying to see where I'm at. I know Todd will get a better look at it than I have, but there may have been some contact in turn 3 between himself and the number 14 of Colin Keister. So 2 guys racing for a championship, and unfortunately looks like we're going to be under caution flag for the first time tonight. 10 laps in. Pit road is open the first time around, and pit road is going to be a very, very busy place. Let's see what these guys coming down the pit road elect to do. See, current race leader Kevin McAdams has hit the sign. We'll see what the word's going to be for the Doritos Chevrolet. 2 right side tires up in the air on our current leader, the point leader coming into this evening. Right side tires are done. They'll swing around, so they're going to take all 4 tires in the 26 camp. Also looks like it's going to be 4 tires for Brandon Lawson, Tom Sylvain, Chris Wetz, everybody down here, Todd, taking 4 tires. Contact on pit road. Maverick Morrow getting turned around in the wrong direction. So that's going to be unfortunate for him. Looks like there may be some damage to the front of the 57. But I don't know if we have time to go back and show that. But the initial caution flag here, Todd, between the 20 of Schildhouse, the 14 of Colin Keister, was there contact or was there not? Let's find out in our first full velocity rewind.
Yes, our first full velocity rewind, my very first on the controls here. We're going to show David Schildhouse and Callan Keister at full speed here. And you got David Schildhouse in that number 20 machine, the champ, trying to do everything he can tonight. And it looks like a little bit of contact made between the 14 and the 20. We'll rewind that just a little bit here. The 20 of David Schildhouse going down into the corner. It looked like he just ran out of real estate there. It looked like Callan Keister was trying to force his way in there, and he was not completely up to his door there. But David Schildhouse indeed around the champ, hard into the wall. He backs it into the wall, so it's one of those things. It's a tough break for David Schildhouse.
Yeah, it absolutely is, Todd. I'm going to give you a quick thing here. See if you maybe can't get a quick look of what happened on pit road, but there was some definite carnage going on there. Looks like, I know the 57 of Maverick Morrow got turned around. Not sure if there was contact. I think it was the Brandon Lawson car. Those guys, pit road at Phoenix, a really tight, tricky place. You pile all 20 cars down there, it is certainly tough to make pit stops, and looks like it was one just trying to come in, into his stall, and I believe it was Maverick of 57 that was trying to exit, and those guys had a disagreement of space, and Maverick got spun around the wrong way. Not sure how much damage there was there, but we got an extended caution flag as race control will do their very, very best to see exactly what happened down there, if anybody's going to be put to the back of the field, if there was avoidable contact on pit road. So hats off to all these guys at FTF, Justin Malello, Brandon Lawson, Kevin McAdams, David Schildhouse, the whole clan over here at FTF. And it looks like they've done their review, and the 1 to go signal is going to be given to the field. But quickly, let's go down to Todd in the booth here. Let's see what happened on pit road there, Todd.
Yeah, down here on pit road, this is what happened. We're going to show you real quick here as we're getting ready to go back to green flag racing with the 16 and Jason Justice coming out, and a 3-wide pinch, and it looked like Sylvain and 16 and Jason Justice around into the wall. Another championship contender. 16 and Jason Justice now driving out backwards with the number 16 machine. Tough break for Jason Justice.
Oh, it wasn't Maverick Morrow. I thought it was, but it was Jason Justice, the Bud Light Ford. But nonetheless, another championship contender taken, with a little bit of carnage and a wreck on pit road. We have 27 laps to go in stage number 1. The 1 to go signal be given. The field coming off of turn number 4. Pace car onto pit road. We're going to put the field back in the hands of our race leader, the 71 of Chris Wetz. Going to pull the field, Kevin McAdams rather, the 71 of Chris Wetz still pull the field. Green flags up in the air. Give McAdams a spot off of turn number 1 and 2. Bat off a third has already kind of languished itself as well. Taylor Morgan's the 36. He's starting to pick his way forward. Put the 36 Kit Kat Chevrolet up to that third spot. Drat Matt Vassar back to fourth. It's going to be Maverick Morrow in that Oreo number 57. I apologize to Maverick there. I saw a blue car go around on pit road. I really thought it was him, but it was the Bud Light Ford, so my apologies. Maverick still clean and going in the right direction. He's got the 57 now up at the top 5. Todd, they are all single file down the back stretch, and look at these guys work their way down to the apron there through that kink. You can pick up a lot of speed down there.
Yeah, you definitely can pick up a lot of speed down there on the kink. And Chris Wetz right now in the 71, he's running in that second spot. He's got heavy pressure from that number 36 of Taylor Morgan. Remember, Wetz is on the outside looking in at W to get himself to Homestead. And right now the 36 pretty much clinched his way into Homestead, of course. And the 26, Kevin McAdams, another driver that's clinched his way into Homestead. He's actually caught out the rest of the field here, the rest of the contenders here for Homestead. He thinks he's going to take down this championship, no holds barred.
Oh, he's absolutely very confident in himself to take down championship hopes next week at Homestead. He's won this Joan Cup Series championship before. Kevin McAdams, he's a great race car driver. He's won a lot of races this year, leads the points here in this FTF Jones Cup playoffs here. We saw him pick up a win in the SMS round of 16, the UFI round of 12. He also picked up a big W there. The SRA round of 8 here, he picked up a win 2 weeks ago, punched his ticket to Homestead, and he'll be one of the 4 contenders we find next week, as will Taylor Morgan's at number 36. He's been trying to apply a little bit of pressure there to the 71 of Chris Wetz. Nothing happening there. Chris Wetz, another one of those guys, Todd, needs to win tonight if he's going to advance to next week in Homestead, and he's doing everything the right way up here through the first 20 laps. Great qualifying run. He's running P2 off of turn 4.
Yeah, definitely running in that position. Number 2 is the 71 of Chris Watts. You got Taylor Morgan's running there in the 3rd spot. 4th right now is Matt Vassar, the number 17, the unmarked number 17 out there on the Speedway. The 57 of Maverick Morrow right now running in that 5th spot. So those guys, the 57 and the 71 on the outside looking in here, trying to get W's here tonight. So they're going to take more chances than they normally have all season long. But Maverick Morrow right now, and this guy, this is a gaggle of cars there, Phil. You've got 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Those guys all gaggled together here coming down into turn 1. And I tell you what, the different braking points that you can see these guys, the nose drops, they're hitting their brakes, they're dragging their brakes into the corner, trying to save tires and doing different stuff here. But those guys are pretty tight-knit together right now.
Well, they absolutely are. And they pulled themselves away from 6th place on Justin Malello. You know, back in 7th, we find the 30 of Corey Carpenter, that mom-and-pop Chevrolet. We know he'll bring that car forward. Just as I say that, they're going to be side by side for that 4th spot. Here comes the 30 to the inside. Justin Malello, the 53, a veteran in his own right. He's going to relinquish that spot, put the 53 down back to that 7th position. Also, Jason Justice has rebounded nicely there, Todd. He's worked his way now back to the top 10 after that issue on pit road. But you look up ahead of him, you find that pink machine, that pink and black number 31 of Derek Justice. He's also on his way forward. He's side by side with Justin Malello. That's battling for that 7th position now down the front stretch.
Yeah, great battle for that 7th position here. Is Derek Justice finally going to be able to grab it here as the 53 of Justin Malello now drops back to that 8th spot. So these guys fighting tooth and nail. Derek Justice, another guy that's in this championship hunt. He's going to try to make his way to Homestead. Remember, last year, Derek Justice had some issues at Homestead that costing him the championship. He doesn't want that to happen this year. This time, David Schildhouse has had a lot of issues in this round of 8 here, Phil. It's tough for the champ. This round of 8, he's had issues. He's had speeding penalties. He's had everything that could happen at him has happened to that number 20 machine. And David Schildhouse is looking to try to repeat, but he's got a long way to hold.
Yeah, and if you remember him putting out a hashtag before we got to this SMS round of 16 when this Jones Cup Series playoff started, David Schildhouse is on record saying he'll live his Homestead or bust. He was going to race his way to a championship, or he was going to call it a career here in NR 2003. He's made no secrets. This will be his last season of competition over here. He's going to put this old sim to bed that's been around now almost 15 years, and he's got to do it here tonight at Phoenix. But the question is this the last ride for the champ, David Schildhouse? Are we witnessing his very last NR 2003 race? I know Vasshouse Racing himself, Matt Vassar, those guys have agreed they're both going to exit this sim at the end of 2017. So a legacy Vasshouse Racing that's been around for the last 6 years. They've won hundreds of races, those guys have. They have dominated, but the question is, David Schildhouse, is tonight the final night of his driving career if he does not end up in victory lane? I'm going to throw it down in the chat box. What do you all think out there? Let me see those results and answers click in. Is tonight the end of the champ, or are we going to see the 20 up in victory lane? He's currently running way back in the field, that 14th position. But we look back up to the front of this field, it is still Kevin McAdams with, basically no pressure at all. Those guys in the top 5 have really logged a lot of laps, and guys really just kind of minding their P's and Q's, letting tires. Got a lot of racing here left to go. 26 laps in, 150 miles here at Phoenix tonight, and it is a long race for these guys. Phoenix is very much a rhythm racetrack, a place you really got to, manage your equipment, and not a place, Todd. It's one of those places you hear a lot about Darlington. They talk about race the racetrack. Well, Phoenix is also one of those places. It's a very tricky, it's a high-speed flat mile, but it's a flat racetrack. And if you're going to make it 150 miles here, you really got to manage your equipment, efficiently to get yourself all the way to the end.
Yeah, definitely got to manage your equipment. Different strategies here tonight. As you can see on the opener there, we had some different things that are going on. They're doing 3 times tire wear here this evening. So pit stops anywhere from 32 to 36 laps here this evening. So tire wear is going to make a difference here tonight. Pit stops are going to make a difference. As right now we're still watching Kevin McAdams right now trying to pull away from the 71 of Chris Watts. Looks like Watts has closed in just a little bit, the number 71 machine, but you got Taylor Morgan. He's running in that 3rd spot. Those top 3 have pretty much broken away as we got a side-by-side battle for 4th. It looks like the 57 machine of Maverick Morrow.
Yeah, he made the move to the inside off of turn number 4 underneath Matt Vassar. Wasn't much as far as a challenge. I think Matt saw that 57 coming, kind of moved over, let Maverick have the line, and Almost thought he was going to do a high-low switch down the backstretch into turn number 3, but Matt's got that number 17. He'll pull it back in line. Move Maverick Morrow now up to P4. So now you get two of those guys up there looking for, a win to get into advance next week's scenario. Maverick Morrow, the 57. Chris Wetzel, the 71. Chris coming in 6th of the standings. Maverick coming in 7th. They're not going to make up all those points to catch up on a guy like Colin Keister. Colin having a struggle of a night by his standards, who's back there currently running in the 10th spot, but you can't count guys like Maverick out here at Phoenix. We've seen him do it many times before. As now our battle for that 5th position, the 17 of Vassar. He'll relinquish that 5th spot, Todd, down to the 30 of Corey Carpenter. Corey's another one of those guys you can't sleep on here at Phoenix.
Yeah, Corey Carpenter, given a man on a mission as of late. Again, Colin Keister, another guy that's on a mission. He's getting around the 16 machine. It looks like Jason Justice, Racing Jason, has made his way all the way up to that 6th spot. Great battle for 6th as Colin Keister down on the bottom side. In practice, these guys exchange blows there. So we had already drama between the 14 and the 16 machine. But Jason Justice, another driver, on the outside looking in, looking for a W here tonight at the Phoenix International Raceway. Jason Justice and the 14 of Colin Keister having one whale of a battle here.
Yeah, they absolutely are. That's a battle, I believe, for the 7th spot into turn number 3 and 4 here. The Bud Light Ford up high, that number 16. The Amp Energy Chevrolet to the low side. Colin Keister just is going to bounce off the outside wall. You see that, traditionally here at Phoenix off of turn number 4. That guy in the outside lane. You just run out of racetrack there as that narrows down at the exit of the corner. Colin Keister now going to complete the pass, and you see those guys drive down through that kink all the way down to the low side of the racetrack. They still got grass here in this area of Phoenix. They're running there on the backstretch, which is going to kind of keep those guys from going all the way down there like you would see in the Monster Energy Cup Series and the trucks and the Xfinity cars and whatnot. So just a strategy these guys at FTF employing here, and so far it's made for some terrific racing. We're going to put 35 laps up on the board next time around there, Todd. We're going to be under 5 laps to go in stage number 1.
Yeah, going to be under 5 laps to go here in stage 1. Still watching the battle on the screen of the number 14 of Colin Keister, 16 of Jason Justice. Now Derek Justice right there. Brandon Hawken coming up through the field again. How about Brandon Hawken in that 199 machine? Had a great run last week, Phil. He's having another good run here at the Phoenix International Raceway. Brandon Hawken on the move.
Yeah, and I raced with Brandon earlier, about Monday night. I raced with him. It was an open setup night, but Brandon really laid waste to the field at Phoenix International Raceway. So no surprise whatsoever to see a guy, Brandon, not one of those that's normally, a fixed setup guy, but he'll come out here and he's showing off the skill he has as a race car driver out here, mixing it up with the best of the best that makes up this FTF Jones Cup Series that runs every Sunday night. Brandon Hawkins got the 199 up in the top 10, having a great showing of it. And as Todd said, he's a guy had a great run here a week ago, and we saw him on full velocity. Brandon now up into the top 10, but we have a battle of Justice brothers just up ahead there, Todd. Derek and Jason putting on one whale of a race for that 8th spot as they hit turn 1.
Yeah, putting on a whale of a race there as they hit turn 1. The 31 of Derek Justice just get around the 16 of Jason Justice here. That was also on your screen. We were showing that awesome battle between those two. Derek Justice right now ahead of the 16 of Racing Jason. Here comes the 199 of Brandon Hawken. He's starting to close up. I've seen some cars go down on pit road there, Phil. Interesting change there. I thought I seen the 17 of Matt Vassar go down on pit road.
Yeah, he absolutely did, Todd. He is on pit road. He is taking a 4-tire pit stop. He was up inside the top 5, but, I don't believe he may have stopped on that last caution flag. I believe he may have started up to the front of the field. I can't confirm that, but, maybe have burned off his tires. Also, Justin Malello was on pit road. We saw those guys all restart up front when we went back to green about 25 laps ago. So these guys may have been, needing inside their fuel window to come to pit road. But as we hit stage white next time at the line there, Todd, looks like Kevin McAdams, who said he was a guy all week long that said, I'm injured. I may just pull over tonight and start and park and, watch this race knowing my way into Homestead is already set. Well, he's one lap away from picking up yet another stage win in these FTF playoffs.
Yeah, it's pretty highly contested there momentarily. As Chris Watts actually was right there knocking at his door in that number 71 machine. He's trying to do everything he can to get a stage win. He needs some points, too, if he cannot make his way in. But Chris Watts right now really looking for a win in that 71 machine. Because it looks like they're going to come down on pit road there, Phil. The 71 of Chris Wetz and the 36 of Morgan's coming down the pit road.
All right, so that was, I believe, stage checker. I believe that may have been last time around. Okay, Kevin McAdams, that stage checker was one lap ago. I was trying to declare it behind the scenes. Two-man crew here tonight. It's going to be a lot of, work for Todd, myself, Todd on the controls, me going to be the primary play-by-play, but the race leaders have come on to pit road. Those guys finished 1-2 in the stage. I believe Todd's got the 71 of Chris Wetz up to the screen. A 4-tire pit stop for the 71. Work is all clean. He is all done down and away. Also looks like the 26 of McAdams has taken 4 tires. Now following the progress, the 36 of Taylor Morgans. He also took 4 tires in the Kit Kat Chevrolet. So those guys all working it down and away, and I'm sure, Todd, next time around, I'll go back here and look, but I know pit road going to have an awful lot more cars on it.
Yeah, definitely going to have a lot more cars on it. Still waiting for Kevin McAdams to complete his pit stop in the number 26 machine as he's getting ready to come out onto the speedway. We're just watching a lot of these guys out there on the speedway, and some of these guys staying out. How long, Phil, do you think these guys should stay out on them old tires? I mean, 3 times tire wear, that's a lot.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be too long at all before you see everybody on the pit road hasn't done so. Just saw the 30 of Corey Carpenter, the 31 of Derek Justice, Maverick Morrow, the 57. It's amongst a host of guys that all came to pit road. The 199 of Brandon Hawken, the 20 of David Schildhouse. Everybody on pit road taking 4 tires, and we'll have to see where all this shakes out. Last of the comers not yet to come to pit road was the number 2 of Tom Sylvain, the Miller Lite Ford. But I believe, as I say that, Todd, he has just now come down, relinquished his spot. He's taken 4 tires, so Tom Sylvain has come to pit road. So that's going to put Kevin McAdams up to the race lead as we work now lap number 43 up on the board. We'll let Todd get sorted out down there. The man crew here tonight, guys. We're going to do our very best to call the action to you. And as the soundtrack of sim racing that Todd and I have been for multiple years, and also our buddy Joe Allen, certainly missing Joe this evening. Thanks, Joe, for all your hard work. Special thanks to our buddy, the high side hustler, Martin Karch, our graphics guy here on Full Velocity. Did a lot of work for us here, assisting Todd getting up here and putting all the awesome graphics we have on our screen tonight. So just a big full team here on the Full Velocity Network. A lot of stuff going into these events to make these things go round for us. And just want to give some brief thank yous to all those that are responsible for allowing Todd and I to come out and display this awesome FTF Jones Cup Series race tonight. The Amazon Prime 150 at the Phoenix International Raceway. Kevin McAdams through the round of green flag pit stops. He is our current race leader. Call that an almost an even 1 second advantage between himself and the number 71 of Chris Wetz. Matt Basso, the number 17, he is currently 3rd. The number 30 of Corey Carpenter, he is 4th, but he is 4 seconds back, just under 4 seconds away from our race leader, Kevin McAdams. And it's Colin Keister, the number 14. He's rebounded himself now up into the top 5, but he has 5.4 seconds between himself and race leader Kevin McAdams. I'm really stunned and, kind of just shocked by the dominance that number 26 is showing here tonight there, Todd. Not surprised by it whatsoever, but, in the condition he said he was in and just knowing the way Phoenix is demanding, he is really laying waste to the field here as we approach lap 50.
Yeah, Dean, he's laying waste to the field here tonight. As I see entire smoke there off a glance. I wonder if that's going to bring out a yellow flag here. I'm not 100% sure. It looks like they kept it going. It looked like the 47 of Sonny Tallman. There's the 26 of Kevin McAdams is starting to pull away here. And like you said, he had some injuries to his hand. It's actually a pretty gruesome picture if you haven't seen it yet. The 26 Kevin McAdams trying to wheel that thing out there. He said he was going to put some kind of extra special glove on his hand to make sure he made it through this race. And like you said, he wanted an exclamation point on this end of the SRA Round of 8 here to go into the ASUS Championship Round of 4 there, going into Homestead. So he wanted to put an exclamation point. He didn't want nobody else to win their way in here tonight.
Yeah, it almost looked like a little oven mitt he had on that hand tonight. Some really good apparatus that he formed up to get out here and race with these guys. I mean, he's an FTF, regular and admin, a full-time driver. Kevin McAdams, just a veteran of the wars over here at FTF. And, he knows he's locked into Phoenix next week, but he's not a quitter. He's a guy, I'm going to soldier on here tonight. And I'm looking here as we put lap 50 on the board. So 100 laps left to go in this great race here tonight. Kevin McAdams, a full, 1.2 second advantage last time around. So not only is he dominating the field, that advantage is opening up 1.2 seconds back to the 71 of Chris Wetz. You look back to third, it is 4.2 seconds between our race leader, Kevin McAdams, and the number 17 of Matt Vassar. So McAdams is driving away, but how about the run for Chris Wetz here tonight, Todd? A guy, as we've documented, a guy who really needs to pick up a win, an almost must-win scenario for him if he's going to advance to Homestead next week. You got to admire, the way that 71 is performing here tonight. He's having a hell of a run, up there battling amongst the best of the best that FTF has to offer. All right, well, I guess I've lost Todd on that. Todd's got his hands full tonight, doing one of these shows in the control booth, trying to act as a play-by-play announcer. It is a definite job down there, and, give Todd an attaboy just for doing what he's doing down there tonight. Doing a fantastic job, but great racing going on now up amongst that top five, seeing a lap car. The number 76 of Noah Carmichael that was stuck up against the wall, but it was interesting trying there. The 30 of Corey Carpenter had to slip by. The 2 of Tom Sylvain, the 14 of Colin Keaston, those guys all had to slip around. Also can update Tom Sylvain, that number 2, he is 1 lap down, so him staying out there that extra time, on those, those tires, that 1 or 2 extra laps there, Todd, that may have been the distance for Tom. He's now the first car 1 lap down on the field. I'm kind of surprised by that, to see him, running all the way back in that 18th position.
Yeah, Tom Sylvain and that number 2 usually up front in the 18th position. Not where Tom Sylvain, I expected number 2 to run here at the Phoenix International Raceway. He's trying to give you guys a bunch of different camera angles. I thought the one angle was pretty cool there, sitting outside the track watching the cars go around this Phoenix International Raceway. It's and you couldn't see which cars I was actually picking on, but it was actually pretty neat. Different view, different style. Trying out a lot of different things here on the Full Velocity Network and trying different camera angles that I have worked with here this evening. So the 26 right now, Kevin McAdams, still your race leader, but he's your race leader by almost half a straightaway now, still over Chris Watts.
Yeah, it's almost a full even 2 seconds between himself, 5.2 seconds back to now third place Corey Carpenter. So the 30 has moved up to third. I believe also the 14 of Colin Keister has indeed moved around the 17. So put Colin up to fourth, moved Matt Vassar now back to P5. But I've been kind of keeping tabs on a really good race going on between the 57 of Maverick Morrow and the 31 of Derek Justice. Those two guys been racing tooth and nail back there for that 6th position. Give it to Maverick, but Derek has been all over the back bumper of the 57, applying pressure. Great race going on back there for 6th, Todd.
Yeah, indeed, looking for the battle on 6th, right on our camera views here, just looking at some of the stuff. They're not side by side as of right now. But just watching the different views here as I'm up with Derek Justice almost getting into the rear bumper of the 57 live here on the Full Velocity Network. Is Maverick Morrow now trying to make a run here on the 17 of Matt Vassar once again down through the kink here. Is a side-by-side battle between Maverick Morrow and the 17 of Matt Vassar. They're still side-by-side going off the corner here down the front straightaway. Put Maverick Morrow around Matt Vassar.
Yeah, put Maverick now up to P number 4. Up there in the P5, rather, the 57. Battle now for that 6th spot. Vassar has fallen into the clutches of Derek Justice. Now, keep in mind, we saw Matt Vassar. He was like amongst the first of our leaders to come onto pit road, and I think that's showing off the difference there. Had those goody, the fresh goody tires for an extra lap or so on these guys, able to put his way up into P3. But, look at the run up front. Kevin McAdams there, Todd. 2.6 seconds last time around, and that interval is growing. That is not easy to do at a place like Phoenix, and he is just laying waste to this field here this evening. What an impressive showing by that 26 car.
Yeah, the 26 of Kevin McAdams doing a runaway and hide right off into the sunset as he wants to capture these 2 victories. And it's an impressive showing. We seen Colin Keister dominate and Taylor Morgan's dominate last week here, and now we're seeing Kevin McAdams. He's just a total annihilation here of the first few laps. Here we're on lap 61, 62 here at the Phoenix International Raceway. I almost willing to bet that Kevin McAdams has led almost every lap here so far, besides maybe a handful of laps with Sonny Tallman coming down on pit road. He's having a whale of a race trying to keep it out of the wall, I should say. Is Sonny Tallman struggling just a little bit out of the pit strategy for that number 47 machine, but I've seen him up into the wall quite a few number of times. So tough break for Sonny Tallman coming back down on pit road to get some damage and repairs done. But I'm watching these guys, Phil, and watching how fast some of these guys are and how fast they do fade. Like we were talking about Matt Vassar, and he was one of the guys that came down onto pit road early. He's back down on pit road along with the 53 of Justin Malalo. So it's showing you how fast that these tires just fade away here at this 3X tire wear.
No, absolutely does. Matt Vassar amongst our race leaders to come to pit road. You saw the 17 slipping on back to the field, and he's brought that Carhartt Ford down to pit road. 4 tire work there for Matt Vassar. He's down and away. Also 4 tire work for Justin Malello. You know, he was out there on the racetrack on the lead lap. You know, but as you said, those are guys that were out there, you know, playing that different role. They were coming in the first of that last group, and these guys probably on the tail end of what could be now a round of second green flag pit stops we're going to see. So just got to kind of keep our eye on that. The comers and goers who may be coming to pit road. I think it's going to be about another lap or two. We see our current race leaders coming down, that being McAdams and Chris Wetz. Nobody looks like coming on as far as our top, you know, half dozen up front go, but thinking here within the next lap or so, we're going to see pit road become a feeding frenzy. I think it's going to be a monkey see, monkey do as far as what the 17's going to do, putting on those fresh tires. And you know he's going to gain a lot of time out there, so we'll have to see how that works out. Best race on the racetrack I am currently finding there, Todd, is for that 9th spot between Jordan Buster in the number 8 and the number 20 of David Schildhaus down the backstretch turn 3. Those guys are side by side for P9.
Yeah, side by side for P number 9. The number 20 of David Schildhaus clears the number 8 of Jordan Buster. David Schildhaus now going to set his sights up towards the front here. Schildhaus has to win here tonight, I believe, to get in here. So David Schildhaus, the champ of last year, the FTF Jones Cup champion, trying to make a repeat, and that's one of the toughest things to do here in sports. So Chris Wetz now on pit road there, Phil.
Yeah, he was starting to fade away from our race leader, Kevin McAdams. It had grown to about 3.5 seconds to 71. You know, gives waste to that second spot. He's going to bring his machine onto pit road. Got to imagine it's going to be a 4-tire pit stop for that Ford as he hits the pit sign. Got a nice little gap there where he starts on pit road, so that'll be an advantage for him as well. Able to get in clean, get out clean. So right side tire work is done. They'll swing over to the left side. A 4-tire pit stop for that DMG number 71 Ford Fusion of Chris Wetz. 4-tire stop. His work is down. Chris Wetz going to rejoin the race, but I think we're all awaiting just what lap is that number 26 of Kevin McAdams come to pit road. He's got an incredibly good piece here tonight. 7.2 seconds last time around was that lead. And still another lap by, Todd. 69 on the board. Still have not seen our current race leader coming onto pit lane.
Yeah, I'm kind of questioning that. How long does he want to stay out? I know he has a good piece here tonight. I'm not sure if the number 26 is going to come down pit road, but I wouldn't want to stay out there too long as he's going to give up some of the seconds that he's gained. He did have a pretty wealthy lead over the number 71 of Chris Wetz, but Kevin McAdams out there soldiering around. It looks like he's starting to dirt track it around the corners there. You know his tires have gone away in the number 26 machine, but he's still out there trucking along in that number 26 Doritos sponsored machine.
Yeah, he absolutely is. 4-tire pit stop on pit road for Colin Keister. Also 4 tires for Derek Justice. 4 tires for Robert Balkum. He brought the Burger King machine in. Also 4 tires for Tom Sylvain on pit road. Corey Carpenter's work has just concluded in that number 30. So just watching these guys all sprint out of pit road, awaiting the arrival of a Doritos Chevrolet. He is down off the racetrack. He'll bring the Doritos machine to pit road. Had a 9-second advantage last time by through the start-finish line, so just had that advantage open up some more. So as long as there's no, big mishap on pit road, that lead should be pretty substantial. We'll see what they do. It's going to be obviously 4 tires here. I don't think anybody in their right mind right now would have licked for a 2-tire pit stop. McAdams on the sign. Right side tires are up in the air. Kevin McAdams, a guy we're certainly going to see racing for a championship at Homestead next week. Right side tire work is done. We're going to swing to the left side tires. Left sides are down. He's down off the jack. The 26 of Kevin McAdams is going to rejoin the race. Also can report Taylor Morgans came down to take 4, and I'm awaiting the 57 of Maverick Morrow now there, Todd. He was scored up near the race lead last time around, but he also came in and took 4 tires as well. So things happening fast and furious here at Phoenix right now.
Yeah, they are, and I just put on the screen Chris Wetz and how fast he closed in on the 26. 9 seconds was the advantage when Chris Wetz went in. Look at this. 3 car lengths between the 71 and the 26 now. Chris Wetz coming in early, paid off just a little bit. He caught the 26 of Kevin McAdams, but that's not going to help him in the long run, though. He's hoping for a quick yellow flag in that 71 machine, because I'll tell you right now, Kevin's on new tires. He's going to put down some good laps in that number 26 machine. He's going to probably pull away from the 71 of Chris Wetz. Wetz right now probably on 6 or 7 lap older tires than that 26 of Kevin McAdams.
And also I want to highlight just behind them, Todd, look who has worked his way up to that 3rd spot. The number 14 of Colin Keister. He started outside the top 10. He started deep in the field here tonight. You know, worked his way methodically up into the top 10, used some pit stop work up into the top 5. Well, now running in that 3rd spot, 2.1 seconds to interval last time around. We know McAdams on those fresher tires. He puts it up to 0.6 seconds over Chris Wetz, now back to 2.2 over Colin Keister. So I thought the 14 maybe have gained a little bit there. It shows the strength of those fresh tires. McAdams is trying to drive deep into that Phoenix sun here. We're 1 lap away, Todd, if you could believe it, from the halfway point.
Yeah, indeed, 1 lap away from halfway home. 75 laps of 150 going to be done here at the Phoenix International Raceway. And again, 26 of Kevin McAdams leads. Chris Wetz in the 71. Then the 14 of Colin Keister. He is running in that 3rd spot. So we're looking through Colin Keister. Then we're looking back there for, looks like the number 30 machine of Corey Carpenter is a little bit of a replay glitch there. The 17 of Matt Vassar running in that 5th spot. 6 is the number 31 machine of Derek Justice, and the 2 of Tom Sylvain right there. He's a lap down, I believe, in that number 2 machine.
Absolutely is, and these guys have come to 5 laps to go here in stage number 2. So we'll see if we can't do a quick full field rundown past that way. 2nd round of green flag pit stops. Todd was doing an awesome job there, but we'll recap the 26 of Kevin McAdams, your race leader. The 71 of Chris Wetz is currently 2nd. Colin Keister, the 14, he is currently 3rd. Corey Carpenter aboard the number 30, he is 4th. It is Matt Vassar aboard the number 17. He is now 5th. We'll now change that. Derek Justice now up to 5th there. Matt Vassar dropped to 6th. Brandon Lawson, the number 9, he is currently 7th. Maverick Morrow is 8th. Justin Malello is 9th aboard the 53. And Brandon Hawk in the 199, he is currently 10th. In the 11th spot on the lead lap, we find the number 20 of David Schildhouse. Robert Balcom is 12th. Jordan Buster, the number 8, he is currently 13th. Matt Durr has the John Deere Ford. He is currently 14th aboard number 92. And Taylor Morgan's, Todd, who could believe it? Taylor Morgan's last car on the lead lap. Taylor currently in the 15th position. Said last car on the lead lap. 1 lap down, 16th is Tom Sylvain. Jason Justice having a struggle of a night as well. He is 1 lap down, currently 17th. Noah Carmichael is 18th. Chris Barnes, he is 2 laps down in the number 28. He is currently 19th. Last car on the racetrack, the number 0 of Alex Ruth. He is 3 laps down in 20th. And last on the field here tonight, Sonny Tallman, the number 47. He is behind the wall. His night is over. 21 drivers took the green flag about 40 minutes ago for the Amazon Prime 150. And, you know, we're past the halfway mark, but most importantly now, Todd, white flag here out in stage number 2.
Yeah, white flag out here in stage number 2. It looks like Kevin McAdams is going to take stage 2. He's took stage 1. He's going to take stage 2. Indeed, barring any mishaps here, it looks like McAdams is going to take stage 2 home here. The number 26 machine, the 71 of Chris Wetz, going to finish along in that 2nd spot. It's going to be Colin Keister in 3rd. So, Phil, those guys had a pretty sizable lead, a sizable advantage over those guys. Nobody really contending for the top 3.
No, not at all. Said it. Race leader McAdams, it was 2.8 seconds back to Colin Keister 3rd, 7.2 seconds back all the way if you got to find Corey Carpenter, who finishes up stage number 2, 4th. Derek Justice brings home a top 5 in stage 2. Matt Vassar 6th. Maverick Morrow 7th, Brandon Lawson 8th, Brandon Hawken 9th, and Justo Alello, he clocks in with a top 10 here in stage number 2. Stage points, they've proved to be ultra important through this entire 2017 FTF Jones Cup Series season. They've definitely played crucial here in the playoffs. It's propelled, guys like, with the wins, McAdams and Morgan's got their ticket to Homestead. But you look at the likes of Derek Justice, 31 playoff points. Colin Keister, 39 playoff points. Those guys giving themselves a 26-point cushion tonight over the likes of a David Schildhaus, so like a Chris Wetz, a Maverick Morrow, or a Jason Justice. All those guys badly needing a win tonight if they're going to advance to Homestead next week. The top 4 looking to be very, very comfortable in their outright. But, we talk about the guys on the outside looking in. The best of those right now, Todd, that number 71 of Chris Wetz. He is up P2, but the story of the night has been, that number 26 of McAdams has started to drive away from his field once again. But the 71 of Wetz, he's been very, very game here tonight. But now he has lost that second spot. The number 14 of Colin Keister, he looks to have the fastest car on the racetrack compared to what the 26 is. No surprise at all to find the 14 now up to P2 there as we put now lap number 85 up on the board.
Yeah, lap number 85 up there on the board, and it's no surprise. Colin Keister has been fast every week here. He's been fast when it counts. In the number 14 machine, he's had a couple mishaps there that have not brought him down as many wins as I thought he was going to get here in the number 14 machine in this SRA round of 8. I almost thought he could take all these wins here and sweep with all 3 of those still. And maybe that's not going out on the limb, but he was just that fast here in the prior 2 races, and now he's just as fast here at Phoenix. Does not look like he's quite as fast though as Kevin McAdams. He might be a little bit faster as of right now. Like we said, we got around the number 71 of Chris Wetz there, and he got around him pretty quickly. He's able to pull away from him, but he's now setting the sights here on Kevin McAdams in that 14 machine. A long green flag run here, and that's been the story of the land here, the FTF Jones Cup Series. The last 3 races, Phil, we've had a lot of green flag racing.
Oh, the entire FTF Jones Cup Series playoffs, we've had the previous 8 races on the last 8 Sunday nights, and it has absolutely been that there, Todd. It has been a whole lot of green flag racing. It just shows a testament, the skill to what these drivers can do. It shows the quality of the product that all the gang over at FTF Racing does, and, hats off to these guys. It has been one terrific race here tonight. We don't have an awful lot of drama. I mean, Kevin McAdams starting to ride off in the sunset. Colin Keister is, around the 71 of Wetz now. They're starting to gain an interval amongst themselves. Looking like the best race on the racetrack there. I think that may be coming in the next lap or so. I think we're going to see a race for that 4th spot. Derek Justice has began to run down the number 30 of Corey Carpenter. It's about 3 car lengths, but it is closing. Put that 31 there, Todd. We have a good race going on for that position number 4 off of turn number 4.
Yeah, fantastic race going on here. It's the 30 of Corey Carpenter right now running in that 4th spot there. The 31 of Derek Justice all over the rear bumper there in that Baskin-Robbins sponsor machine. So he's right there with the 30 of Corey Carpenter as he drifts up the track just a little bit, leaving the door wide open down for the 31. They're side by side down the back straightaway here. The 31 goes down here into turn number 3. And now they're still door handle to door handle through turn number 4 down the front straightaway. The 31 of Derek Justice on the bottom. The 30 of Corey Carpenter on the top side of the speedway. So these guys fighting tooth and nail for that position as they're still side by side, Phil.
Yeah, side by side, but looks like Justice will win that battle off of turn number 2 down the back straightaway, down through the kink, give the 31 the spot. He'll bring that Baskin-Robbins Ford all the way down through the low side of the kink. He'll keep the 30 behind him. Great race going on there. Not sure if that's going to be over or not. Corey going to look now back to the low side. Does he have the run? Ran out of racetrack there, but Corey looks to keep the pressure on that 31. Great race going on for that 4th position. Nothing to tell up front. Kevin McAdams has pulled away from this field. It is now well over 3 seconds over our runner-up position there, the number 14 of Colin Keister, the 71 of Chris Wetz. He is currently 3rd. Put Derek now up to that 4th spot. But Corey Carpenter, he is currently 5th, but he is not going away at all. Car looks to go away a little bit. Derek now pulling 2 or 3 car lengths, so the race, that battle there may be over as well for the time being as we put now lap 92 up on the board. But you think about it, Todd. A 70-lap distance now for stage number 3 to pull out the balance of this, 150-mile race here that makes up the Amazon Prime 150 here at Phoenix. But We saw these guys coming to pit road about, probably about 4 or 5 laps before, maybe 8 laps or so before segment number 2 ended. Is there any conceivable way these guys can split up stage number 3 to come to pit road one time? Or do you think guaranteed if this thing stays green the way it feels, these guys are going to have to come to pit road for 2 full stops? I'm not sure if anybody can stretch it out to just stop one more time from here.
I'm not sure if anybody can stretch it out, Phil. It was in those one more pit stop. As I was watching David Schildhouse, it looked like he made a pit stop, and I think he made another costly mistake on pit road. The champ back down on pit road, the number 20 machine. So I don't know, maybe he missed his pit stall. I don't know what went on there. Maybe a drive-through penalty thanks to NASCAR there, maybe speeding down pit road or commitment cone violation, or maybe he just missed his pit stall altogether. No, it looks like something to do with a speeding penalty for that number 20 machine. So his championship hopes pretty much without a yellow flag and without some lucky dogs, pretty much going to be slim to none there, Phil.
No, absolutely. Yeah, going to be slim and none. I think one more stop is going to be absolutely not feasible from here. But we now work number 95 up on the board, just kind of peeking around the racetrack, looking for some different battles there. It looks like the 57 of Maverick Mora was starting to peek his way back up forward, but you just called that on my ear, Todd, and you are correct. The number 14 of Colin Keister. Colin Keister, number 14, he is on pit road. 4 tires there for the Amp Energy Chevrolet. He pits out of position number 2. Maybe he's figured out you can't make it from here on one more stop, knowing at least 2. Not a smart, not a bad idea at all. If you're running P2, you got that 26 driving away. Why not come to pit road and take those 4 fresh tires and see if you can't get into that interval at all? Great move by that 14.
Yeah, not only a great move by the 14, but another good move by Chris Wetz in the number 71 machine. He also came down pit road at the same time. So those guys trying to chop into the interval of the number 26 of Kevin McAdams, but he is down on pit road. Kevin McAdams down on pit road, the number 26 machine. So he's seen those guys go down on pit road, Phil. He's not going to let them have it that easy.
No, not at all. Not at all. But yeah, say pit road, I think, is going to start being a very busy place again here. I think it's going to be Monkey See, Monkey Do. I see the 92 of Matt Durr onto pit road. The number 53 of Justin Malello has come on. Those guys are taking 4 tires. Don't see nobody else on the side of pit road as I'm just going through everybody now. But I believe those may have been the only 2 takers this lap around, but it's going to be probably another few laps. We see Monkey See, Monkey Do. You got to think, Todd, how many laps do you think Kevin McAdams, wants to stretch it out there? We know he's got the best car here tonight. He's driven away from the field. But how many laps do you think that the 26 has already come down? I missed a whole round of green flag pit stops here, Todd. Looks like the 57 of Maverick Moro may be the last one there, as I was off screen just trying to pull up some notes, and all these guys pulled a fast one. Everybody came onto pit road. I believe the last of which now is going to be the 57. I believe just now we see Maverick coming off the banking. So that was quick. Monkey See, Monkey Do. We're going to complete 3 rounds of green flag pit stops.
Yeah, definitely 3 rounds of green flag pit stops. A better way here at the Phoenix International Raceway. These guys put on a whale of a show. Kevin McAdams came down, took 4 fresh tires. He knew those other guys came down on pit road, like you said, Monkey See, Monkey Do. 26 Kevin McAdams, seen the 71 and the 14 go down on pit road. He didn't want them to have that tire advantage and try to cut into his lead like they thought they were going to be able to do. So they have about a lap old tires versus the 26 Kevin McAdams. I believe McAdams got back out with the lead after the 57 of Maverick Mora went down on pit road. So great call by the 26 Kevin McAdams not to stay out there that long there on them older tires, as he's still got quite the distance on the number 14 of Colin Keister, who's running in second.
Yeah, and it was 3 seconds when Colin came on the pit road. So let's see how much that changes now with Kevin on the pit road. Colin having those couple laps of goody is now we put triple digits of laps on the board, currently working lap number 101, but timing and scoring cycles back around. It is 3.27 seconds. So, Colin came in for fresher tires, but don't think in the interim that's paying off whatsoever, as Kevin didn't stay out there, much too long. It's 3.27 seconds. It's 5.5 seconds back to third place Chris Wetz, another 8.3 seconds back to the number 31 of Derek Justice, and it's going to be Corey Carpenter just as we left it. He is currently 5th, but he has 9.2 seconds to make up. Now at the line, it resets to 9.4 seconds. So Kevin McAdams, a guy, as we said, a guy that said, I think I made this start and park at Phoenix. He called these guys out, step your game up because I'm going to win a championship at Homestead. He's looking poised, Todd. If this thing stays green, he may win 2 out of 3 rounds in the SRA round of 8. That is going to be a feat within itself. We got a lot of racing left to go, at least one more pit stop left to make, but that 26 tonight, I mean, you just can't say enough for the dominance that car has shown.
He's on rails, Phil. That's all there is to about it. The 26, Kevin McAdams, out there hurt. Doesn't even look like he's hurt. He's driving the piss out of that car, the snot out of the 26 machine. He's just driving away from good drivers like the 14 and Colin Keister. I mean, Chris Wetz is doing everything he can. These guys are throwing everything at him. I think they only got left is the kitchen sink in their cars. And I don't even know if that's going to do anything to catch the 26 here of Kevin McAdams as he's just on rails. I'm just in awe how fast he is tonight in that 26 machine. He's putting on a clinic at the Phoenix International Raceway, and I don't think anybody can stop him barring anything that might happen, you know.
No, not at all. I'm looking back through the field here, just trying to find some good racing action to show and see if we can't get away from what's going on or what isn't going on up the front of the field. You know, best race I'm finding going on, Derek Justice, Corey Carpenter. It's about 2 or 3 car lengths there. We'll have to keep that one abreast what's going on. You know, also looking further back, you know, in back half of the top 10, good racing going on between the 57 of Maverick Morrow, the number 9 of Brandon Lawson is there. It's a couple of car lengths between those guys. You know, Brandon Hawkins up ahead. You know, David Schildhouse is up there in that battle, but David Schildhouse, currently 1 lap down in 14th. Certainly not the ride at Phoenix he was looking for this evening. A certainly tough break there for David Schildhouse. Looks like Todd, our FTF Jones Cup defending series champion, if he's going to make that a 2-time championship or even have a chance to defend it next week, he's going to need a lot to go his way. If it can go wrong here in this round of 8, it has certainly gone wrong for the 20, and it's certainly a tough break.
Yeah, certainly a tough break for the 20 of David Schildhouse. The champ he's just, you know, he's chasing everything 1 lap down, and hopefully a yellow flag. I know he's one of those guys praying for a yellow flag, and hopefully he's in lucky dog position where he can get around the leaders and take one more shot at these guys. But I tell you what, I don't think anybody has anything for Kevin McAdams in the 26 machine, and unless they pull a strategy call where they're going to have to block him and try to keep him at bay. It's just one of those guys that's really fast here at Phoenix International Raceway. He's done really well, like you said, in the Sim Racing Association round of 8. He's already clinched himself into the Zeus Republic of Gamers championship round here between the final 4 there at Homestead, Miami. So it's going to be interesting. I think he's going to be able to take down 2 or 3 victories here in this season. I hate to write the race off this early because there's a lot of good racing going out there in Speedway. He's just been that good here tonight.
Oh, absolutely right. And I've been just kind of peeking back, and you know, another name that's been very prevalent here in this FTF Jones Cup playoffs that we've had here, the first 8 races, now race number 9 here tonight. You know, one of the top names we've seen is Taylor Morgans. He won last week out. You know, we'll see him racing at Homestead, Miami for a championship next week, but I believe a pit road speeding penalty earlier tonight put Taylor behind the 8 ball. Taylor Morgans, he's the last car on the lead lap, currently 11th. But you look up ahead, you see the Burger King Chevrolet of Robert Bauckham. Robert's up there racing for 10th, but now we may see a battle for that 10th spot going on. Here comes Taylor to the inside of Robert. Make that a position change. That's back there racing for that 10th spot. It just shows, Todd, there's good racing going on all over Phoenix. Problem is tonight we just have to go out there and try to find it. That's the best battle I saw out there, but give me a couple of laps and I'll find some more good racing going on.
Yeah, a lot of times it's the wear and everything that's going on there. As I seen smoke over there in the corner, I thought somebody was around, but I don't think anybody was actually indeed around. I think somebody just lightened up their tires just a little bit. But Taylor Morgan's right now able to get around Robert Bauckham. Bauckham, though, able to stay with him in that number 00 machine. Still looking for battles throughout the field, though, Phil. Some of these guys put on an amazing race.
No, they really have. But I was kind of up there riding with the number 17 of Tom Sylvain, and you know, he started to, or maybe not, rather the 17 of Matt Vassar, he has started to slide around the field a little bit. You know, he's one of those guys that been on kind of fresher tires all night long, and as I'm seeing sliding on back, Maverick Morrow with number 57, those guys now through the kink. They were 3 wide with Tom Sylvain. The Oreo Chevrolet now to the low side of that Carhartt Ford. Moved Maverick Morrow, a guy who needs a win here tonight. You know, he currently outside the top 5, put him now up to P6. The only problem for Maverick there, Todd, he's 16.5 seconds behind our current race leader, Kevin McAdams, who, if you can believe it, look at the interval on our screen. 5.7 seconds last time around. I mean, that's Colin Keister up there running in second, guys. That's a guy who's been contending for win races for the last, 8 weeks we have seen. One of the faster cars on the racetrack here tonight, but a 5.7 second advantage on a green flag run. I said it a couple of times. I'll say it again. How about the run for Kevin McAdams, Todd? He put all these guys on notice, and he is absolutely, if I could say it, he's giving these guys a good old-fashioned ass-kicking here tonight.
Yeah, he's definitely laying down the law here in Phoenix, and it's just Kevin McAdams is impressive here tonight. And I know we've been saying that an awful lot, Phil. Now I know the viewers are probably getting kind of old of that, but he's indeed putting on a clinic. He's indeed winning this race. He's making everybody else look like a fool. I mean, even Colin Keister, 5.5 seconds back. Oh man, he's been fast the last 2 races, and he's just pulling away from him. And Kevin McAdams, when the time is right, you know that it's time, and I think it's gonna be hard to even beat him for that championship, because he's just he's been injured, and maybe he's using that for his advantage, being injured. Phil is he's out there saying I'm gonna do this. See, we tried to drag him even up into the broadcast booth, but he didn't want anything to do with that. He wanted to go out and win this race tonight.
Well, who would actually want to come hang out with Phil and Todd up here in the FEN, broadcast booth here this evening? We're going to be looking for more announcers. If you're interested, contact Todd or myself now, as the FEN product has certainly grown and expanded over the last couple of weeks. We brought on the legs, our buddy Joe Allen out with us tonight. We get the legs of Blake McCann, listed champ David Schildhouse, going to be a full member of the team also. We also brought in our buddy Brody Hanna to help us on the iRacing side as well from Full Throttle Sim Racing. But we are looking to add an even more, because we have a whole lot of double bookings coming up here in the next week and a half. Check out our full schedule of events. Even book your date now into the month of December. Find us at our website, fullvelocitynetwork.com. We call this the ultimate esport experience, giving you all the great looks around all these racetracks, or whatever other kinds of esports you may be doing. If it's golf, football, whatever you may be playing out there. If you would like to see the spin that we have on it as we bring here, an ultimate, showcase, maximum impact showcase that we do on the Full Velocity Network, head over to our website. A full schedule of events coming up here in the next 10 days, but we'd love to book your date here out into the future. FullVelocityNetwork.com. I think you'll enjoy the broadcast rate. So many great dates coming up here. An off day for us tomorrow night, but then it is a full-out assault coming up for us here. Tuesday night, back over to Big Show Promotions on the dirt. Great event there from the Lanier Speedway we've seen through the last couple of weeks. Wednesday night, championship night for the SRA 711 Super Truck Series at Homestead. Thursday night, we head over to Extreme Motorsports Season 3 finale of the Super Speedway Series there, and the trucks at Extreme also being run at Talladega. Friday night, a big night for us here. Our friends at Big Show Promotions, we've seen them on the dirt. Well, they have the UMP Dirt Nationals going on next week at Lanier. You're going to see prelim qualifying, a lot of heat races there and qualifying stuff going on Friday night. We have the big A main feature for the UMP Nationals. $400 to win coming up on Saturday night, but a big double booking for us. Also on Saturday evening, over in NR 2003, we visit our friends at SMO Hardcore for their 13th anniversary race. So that brings us all the way into next Saturday, 6 nights from now. Of course, the finale here next week at Homestead for the Jones Cup Series. That's going to happen next Sunday. Next Monday night out on the air as well. We pay a visit to our friend Brody Hanna, our buddies at Full Throttle Sim Racing, for some iRacing trucking, and then a big double main event for us next Tuesday, if you can believe it, the 21st. Back at Big Show Promotions for the Lanier Speedway UMP Modified Series. But also we pay a visit to Homestead Miami Speedway with our friends from Excel Racing. The Excel Racing Monster Energy Cup Series, comes to conclusion. That is our full week of calendar events coming up here. If you can imagine, guys, very, very busy. Visit us at FullVelocityNetwork.com to book your date now. But Todd, pit road is open once again. We see a lot of our leaders coming in and putting on 4 fresh tires. Probably the final pit stop for these guys tonight.
Yeah, probably going to be the final pit stop here tonight. And I echo the thoughts there, Phil. If you want to just showcase your talent here on the Full Velocity Network, want to be able to become an announcer, hit up Phil or myself. here at Full Velocity Network. We'll try to get you up here in the booth to try you out just a little bit. Maybe you've always wanted to be an announcer. Maybe racing's not your thing, like Phil and I. We obviously not very good on the racing aspect. We go out there and have fun and ride around with these guys, but obviously not that good. We're up here in the announcer's booth having a grand old time. So if you want to be part of the Full Velocity Network crew, please get a hold of us, and maybe we'll try you out here, and hopefully you'll be part of that Full Velocity crew. So like I said, we got a lot. We've expanded, and it's great. It's Kevin McAdams now coming down on the pit road here for the final time, I do believe, for that number 26 Dorito sponsored machine. Kevin McAdams coming down to his stall. We're on him. Lap 126 of 150 here, Phil. Phoenix International Raceway, championship implications, everything else like that. We don't have anything for championship implications. It looks like some of these guys, Chris Wett's having the best shot in the number 71 machine. We're waiting to see what Kevin McAdams does here in the number 26 machine. Make sure he doesn't slide through. Perfect entrance. Perfect slide into his pit stall. Right side tires going on that number 26 Dorito sponsor machine for Kevin McAdams. They completed service. Now over to the left side. Left side tires going on Kevin McAdams' machine. And he's down and away, Phil. He's going to join the field again.
Well, he absolutely does. Good work there on the 26. No speeding penalties. And I think he even had to take a little less fuel there. So you didn't have to wait on the fuel. If anybody has played this sim before, a 4-tire stop, you can usually get 4 tires done, but usually wait an extra second on, another half can of fuel to be dumped in. But I don't think he had to take a full 2 cans, so that may have eliminated a little bit of time for McAdams on pit road. He was the last of our leaders, it looks like, to come on, as everybody else has made their way on, and we'll have to see when timing and scoring reset themselves. What is the interval going to be at the line? It's a pretty sizable one, 4.8 seconds. So Colin Keister there, Todd, came in a little bit earlier. He was able to chop off about a second on that, but he's going to need to pick up, with now a little less than 25 laps to go. That's a long way to hoe there. 4.8 seconds. If this thing stays green, I can't imagine Colin can chase them down. But we've had also a change for third through the round of pit stops. Put the 31 of Derek Justice. He's now up to that third spot.
Indeed, he's up to that third spot, battling tooth and nail here with the 71 of Chris Wetz, and it's good battle here on the screen here in the Full Velocity Network. These guys put on a whale of a show here. Green flag pit stops is the way of the land here for the FTF Jones Cup Phoenix International Raceway. These guys have seen a little bit more smoke. Looks like a lot of these guys entering in the pit road, and somebody's around down the bottom there. I'm not sure. I think there's a 17 of Matt Vassar down on the bottom. I wonder if that's going to bring out a yellow flag there, Phil.
Oh, I'm not exactly sure. Hearing nothing from race control, so I think we're staying under the green flag. Caution is out now. The word from Justin is caution flag is on the speedway, and that's going to change the complexion of this entire race. But looks like it may have been something going wrong around. Was it the number 14, Todd? This may be a developing story here, as the 14, I believe, I seen with some damage, and I think the 14 car of Colin Keister. I can confirm the 14 is behind the wall. Did see some damage to the race car. I'll let Todd go back and get a full velocity rewind of just what happened out there on the racetrack, but something went amiss in the 71 camp. Not sure if he got loose or an engine going wrong or what may have ever happened there off of turn number 2, but the 14 had some issues down there, and that car lost power, and he's behind the wall. Not sure what happened, if he got in there, got hot, or what happened, but we'll give Todd a couple of seconds here as he saw cars going around, but I think there may have been contact out there. I don't think it was mechanical, but issues with the 14 of Colin Keister happening out there on the racetrack, and I believe, Todd, you're out there with a full velocity rewind. You haven't had to do a lot of these tonight, but show us what happened here.
As we're looking here on the screen, you got Colin Keister. Looks like Matt Vassar. I'm going to show you what happens to these guys at full speed here. The 14 of Colin Keister gets a tad bit loose there on corner entry, up into the 17 of Matt Vassar, and Vassar goes spinning around in a loop there, the 17 machine, and now the number 14, it looks like he's knows that he's at fault. Colin Keister going to pull over here. I believe in his incidents and parking it here for the evening did not mean to get into the 17 of Matt Vassar. So we're going back through here just to take a look-see once again to see how loose he actually indeed was here at full speed. And this is full speed with Colin Keister and the 17 of Matt Vassar full speed. And just look at Colin Keister getting out of shape, dirt tracking it there and up into the 17 and kind of a lazy spin loop-de-loop for the 17 of Matt Vassar down in the bottom there, and Colin Keats are going to pull over and actually end his night here in the 14 amp energy sponsored machine.
Yeah, his night is indeed over. Behind the wall, the 14's night is done. Now the question for him is going to be, does he have the points to fall on here tonight? David Schilthouse has struggled all night long aboard that number 20. Chris Wetz, the number 71. He's, seventh and sixth in the standings, but he had a sizable gap to make up. 33 markers behind Colin Keister. Colin is behind the wall. I'm not sure Chris Wetz or even this out David Schilthouse, Jason Justice, also Maverick Morrow. He's been up in the going all night long, but Maverick came in tonight, seventh in the standings, 34 points on back. So Chris and Maverick 1 point apart, but they're trying to chase down 33 markers it was to Colin Keister. If they have any chance to do so, it's a perfect time there, Todd, the 14 behind the wall, but I'm still not so sure with the way the stage points work out and whatnot. I think Colin's position has got to be safe, barring if anybody, say a Chris or a Maverick, goes out there and pulls off at this point what seems to be a big upset at this point in the race.
Yeah, again, I think Colin Keister with the stage points was able to solidify himself a position in that 14 machine. And we got those SRA Round of 8 up there on the screen, so you can take a look for yourself at what kind of implications that did cause. Here's the 14 Colin Keister pole behind the wall. But and these guys on the outside looking in, like David Schilthouse, he's a lap down. There's some of these guys. Chris Wetz has the best shot, I do believe, running in that fourth spot. So a lot of those cars going around, taking the wave around, Phil. We're getting ready to go back to green flag racing here momentarily.
Yeah, seeing cars indeed taking a wave around. Seeing it looks like, I believe Brandon Hawk in the 199. He may be one of those electing to stay out. I believe he's going to unofficially be scored the leader when we get back to the restart. So that's going to put a whole different wrinkle of this thing. But I'm going to put this out to the YouTube chat box. It's going to be about 16 laps remaining to the end of this thing. We saw Kevin McAdams have a dominant car all night long with Colin Keister falling out now. Does anybody have a car out there that can contend with that 26? Chat box, who's it going to be going on to victory lane here tonight and winning the Amazon Prime 150? YouTube chat box, what do you think? I'll ask my partner, Todd Stanton, who do you think if you had to take a prediction now? I know we're getting till the end of this thing, but this late race caution changing the complexion. Who's going to go to victory lane?
I'm going with the 26 of Kevin McAdams, the likely choice here, getting ready to go back to green flag racing, and I think indeed we are green flag racing once again, Phil, as Hawkins for the leading down here to turn number 1, that 199 machine.
Yeah, it's a great pick there, and you can't really bet against McAdams tonight, but if I had to, I'll pick the 71 of Chris Wetz. There's nothing more desperate than a race car driver with a guy needing a win to get in. That 71 has had a tremendous run here tonight, and one of those guys I really hope that, at least at the very minimum, we could talk to in post-race, because I am so impressed with the way in the situation, do or die, that 71 has really responded this evening. 26 is a trendy pick. I'm sure the chat box will probably agree as if stuff starts to come in, but look up to the front of the field. McAdams back to the lead. Good race going on for second now between the 71 of Wetz, but Brandon Hawk in that 199, Todd, he is very game running up there in second. He's not letting that 71 around him whatsoever.
No, indeed he's not, and I've been watching the 57 machine of Maverick Morrow. He's making some headway also, getting around the 31 of Derek Justice. That was for the fourth spot, so Kevin McAdams starting to pull away from these guys. Brandon Hawkins not going away, though, in the 199. He's going to try to throw everything he can. Chris Wetz still running in that third spot. Then you got the 57, Maverick Morrow running fourth, and fifth right now is Derek Justice. So there's two guys inside the top four looking for that W here, but also the 26 of Kevin McAdams trying to run away, an exclamation point on the SRA Round of 8 here. So we're going to have to wait and see. I have one question, like you said, Phil, that remains to be answered. Who is it going to be here tonight, the Phoenix International Raceway?
Oh, the man to beat tonight has no doubt been the 26, but, as guys out in the chat box were saying, a late race restart could really change the complexion. I think they were banking on the 14 of Colin Keister being out there to be the best challenger, but he's got some pretty fast cars behind him. Brandon Hawkins has been game. Chris Wetz having a good run. We got Maverick Morrow back there. Don't count the 57 out of this thing, whatsoever. McAdams, if he makes one brief mistake, it's going to bring everybody back into the race. But these guys second through all the way back to that fifth spot. It's a good race going on. we'll have to see here, Todd. As next time by, we'll put, I believe, 10 laps to go on the board. About 11 laps to go here next time around.
Yeah, about 11 laps to go next time around. Trying to give you guys the best feel of what the gap is between the 26 and the 199 of Brandon Hawkins, and trying to get multiple cars here on the screen. Is Maverick Morrill trying to challenge for that third spot in the 57 machine. Not able to get around Chris Wetson, the number 71 here momentarily. Here comes the 31 of Derek Justice. He's back into the fray. The 4 cars in line right behind Kevin McAdams are guys that are fighting here for every inch. And now here comes Derek Justice down to the bottom. That's a battle for fourth. He's trying to get around the 57 Maverick Morrill. Morrill slams that door shut.
Yeah, he certainly does. And as you said, those guys up there, Chris and Maverick, those guys need to win tonight to advance to Homestead, unless they've accumulated enough points. Colin Kieser, it looks like in all rights, is probably going to finish up around 17th. So has he scored enough? Was he comfortable enough with his margin to advance to Homestead next week? We're going to have to wait and see. Is now a little less than 10 laps remaining. It is Kevin McAdams with the lead. Great race going on for second there. Wetz and Brandon Hawkins. Wetz to the inside. Looks like give the 71 the spot there. And here comes Maverick Morrow. He's into the fray as well there off of turn 4.
Yeah, into the fray is Wetz now into the second. 3 wide down the front straightaway. Derek Justice down to the extreme bottom as Maverick Morrow trying to work up top. Contact made. Maverick Morrow is almost around. He saves it in the 57 machine.
But you know who didn't save it? The number 20 of David Schildhaus got turned in that as well. Not hearing anything as far caution flag now, Todd, coming out on the racetrack. We did see the 57 of Morrow get a little, squirrely there, and unfortunately, he ended up, it looks like, right in the lap of the champ, David Schildhaus. If a guy's luck could not get any worse in this SRA round of 8, the champ making contact with the 57, and that's going to put us on a caution flag now for the third time tonight, and that is going to set up what is going to be a good old-fashioned Sunday night shootout. It's going to be probably, I think, I'll say maybe about 5 laps or 4 or 5 laps here for a shootout. What better way to settle the Amazon Prime 150 here at the Phoenix International Raceway? We'll give Todd a brief minute to try to go back and maybe catch the full replay, show exactly what happened to put us back under the caution flag as I see the load screen go up there. So appreciate you guys for all tuning in tonight here on the Full Velocity Network. I believe the third caution flag of the night there, Todd. So take it away here with our third installment of Full Velocity Rewind. Show us what happened.
Yeah, and we're going to do this kind of in fast speed and slow motion here, and there's a lot of things that go on that come to the conclusion of what happens here. The number 99, 199 machine of Brandon Hawkins, we can see him on the screen here because we're trying to get back to that, is the 199 of Brandon Hawkins here in the middle. The 31 of Derek Justice makes it 3 wide. Now we're going to speed here. We're watching the 31 of Derek Justice. He's down there, and he makes it, the 199 of Hawkins comes up the track, kind of nervous that the 31 of Derek Justice made it, and then all of a sudden Matt Vassar in the 20 and the 57 nosed it hard into the wall. We'll show that once again here in a little bit of slow motion here as this happens, as we're getting a rewind here, full velocity rewind here on the Full Velocity Network, of course. Maverick Morrow doing a great job. He was dirt tracking it there through corner number 1 here, and he just Schildhaus right there. Had no place to go. Hard into the outside wall. Looked like 17 got into Schildhaus just a little bit, and it's a tough break there for those 2 drivers. They were able to pull away, but they nosed it into the wall pretty hard. And those guys were 2 of the drivers on the outside looking in here. This SRA round of 8, Phil.
Yeah, tough break indeed. I think we're going to see probably extended caution flag for about a lap. I believe our race admin's going to come onto pit road and maybe take a look at this and make the correct call on the caution flag. I mean, there was contact up there for sure between Maverick and looks like 199 of Brandon Hawkins. So it's a matter of, what's the fault for the caution flag? Does anybody got to surrender their spots where they run on the racetrack? And these guys do a great job as normal at FTF, and they'll make the proper call, and we'll get aligned there properly, and we'll put this thing back under green flag conditions. This time around, I believe we're coming to, I think, 6 to go next time around, but looks like, Todd, the word from race control is that may have been, a wreck that's going to be put on the Brandon Hawkins machine, so that may put him deep in the field now. Certainly a tough break. He was having one hell of a run up here, racing for a win inside the top 5.
Yeah, he was indeed having a good run there in that 199 machine, but he was forced 3 wide there. it was a questionable call there from the 31 of Derek Justice as he was down on the bottom there. He forced a 3 wide. It was open down there, don't get me wrong, and it looks like the 199, like I said in the replay there, Brandon Hawkins just kind of got scared that Derek Justice was down there, and I'd probably do a little bit of the same thing as I'm trying to hold my position and not realizing somebody's going to be down there. That little bit of flinch, though, cost Maverick Morrow to get all kinds out of shape, and that 20 of David Shieldus is the wrong place, wrong time, and that's the way his SRA Round debates went.
No, it absolutely is. It's certainly the way it's went. It certainly looks to be the way it's going to go. Is the 1-to-go signal has been given. Look up to the front of the field. Looks like the complexion of this race has changed a little bit. It looks like these guys may have come to pit road to pit for tires. As green flag goes back in the air, it is Jason Justice needing a win there, Todd. Another wrinkle here. He's a guy 8th in the standings. He needs a win to advance to next week. He restarts on the restart with a race lead. Give it to him down turn 2 and down headed the backstretch toward turn 3.
Yeah, and I believe Kevin McAdams got tires in that 26 machine, so he's going to have to fight these guys tooth and nail. As the 71 of Chris Wetz right now running in that second spot, as the 16 of Jason Justice trying to hold off the 26 of Kevin McAdams. He's going to come down and block him. Oh, contact made, and here comes Chris Wetz. Power move on the top side. And around goes the 36 of Taylor Morgan on the bumper of the 31 of Derek Justice.
Man, if this doesn't get any more exciting in the closing laps, these guys racing to get to Homestead next week. Chris Wetz off of turn number 4. He is the current leader. McAdams, the fastest car all night, into the back of a 16. Put him now up to second. Justice going to lose the 3rd spot to Corey Carpenter. Can it get any more exciting? I think we're coming to 2 to go next time around. I believe caution flag out on the racetrack. Caution flag coming on the speedway there, Todd. So we'll let Todd get sorted out with the replay to what put us under caution flag. But holy crap, guys. I mean, there's 2 of us up here in the booth tonight. There is so much to keep up with. And I hope you guys in YouTube land tonight are enjoying this one just as much as we are bringing it to you. This race has been absolutely amazing. These guys doing a hell of a job. And how about the late calls for these guys? What ballsy maneuvers by the 16 of Jason Justice, knowing he probably had no other alternative either to stay out on that last caution flag and take his best shot at going to victory lane. And you got to admire the courage there. It looks like he may fall a little bit short, but how about the run for Chris Wetz, a guy who's been in the top 3 all night, a guy needing a win to advance to next week. But what that could do, if the 71 does win, that could lock Colin Keister out of the picture altogether. So there is so much stuff to score in these closing laps. But before we get to a shootout here, Todd, what looks like it's going to be a green-white checker, show us what happened to put us under the caution flag.
Indeed, going to show you what happened here. And there's a couple things that happened. And the first one was the 16 and throwing the block here on Kevin McAdams. That slowed those guys off. Now we're looking here in slow motion. The 36 now catching McAdams rather quickly, and around goes the 36. Around in the knot, per se, from the 31 of Derek Justice. That's going to have those guys involved, and I believe there's other spins behind him that caused this. But just looking at the 36s, he had to roll up here as the 26 of Kevin McAdams. The block was thrown here by the 16 machine of Jason Justice, trying to keep the 26 of Kevin McAdams behind him, knowing that he has fresher tires, and trying to win this race here in the 16 machine. Chris Wetz, the benefactor, though, as you watch this, look at Chris Wetz. Chris Wetz is just doing a fantastic job here as he does and stays right on the outside of these guys. He has the momentum coming off the corner, and Chris Wetz takes over that lead. And just unfortunate circumstances for the 36 is the 31 of Derek Justice gets right into the rear bumper of him.
All right, Todd, well, green flag racing going back in the air. Chris Wetz with a green-white checker to finish it down toward turn 1. McAdams slams the door on Jason Justice. More bent-up sheet metal here as these guys going to race 1 lap past the advertised distance here tonight. Something these guys do at FTF. It's a scoring nightmare for the admins, but it's an extra treat for you guys out there in YouTube or anybody who may watch this back later off of turn number 4. 1 more lap to go. Can Chris Wetz throw the block? Can he keep McAdams behind him? Contact there, McAdams. He slides up the racetrack Almost into the 16 car. I can't believe the action off of turn number 2. But one more trip around in the 3 and 4. Can Chris Wetz pull the upset? Contact now between the 26 and the 16, but off of turn number 4. Who's it gonna be? It looks like Chris Wetz there, Todd. He's coming up at turn 4. Chris Wetz gonna win the Amazon Prime 150 in an upset here tonight at Phoenix.
The lucky horseshoe, Phil. You rode the 71, and he must have heard you. He won here tonight. He's gonna punch his ticket into the sim racing, or into the ASUS Championship Round here, winning the Sim Racing Association round of 8. He did what nobody else thought that they could do. Chris Wetz taking down the win. He's going to secure himself into the round of 4 here at Homestead, Miami, FTF Jones Cup. Look at him, burning down here. He's got to be one excited person here. Down on the front straightaway, just lighting those tires up. Whatever's left of the 71's tires, he is doing victory donuts, and those are well-deserved victory donuts here on the front straightaway. Chris Wetz taking down the victory here this evening.
All right, well, it looks like the official top 3, or unofficial, we'll call it here. Chris Wetz scoring the humongous W at Phoenix tonight. He advances in a do-or-die situation at Homestead next week. Maverick Morrow going to finish up second here tonight, but, looks like his championship hopes may be over. But what better way to try to put yourself up in championship position? He's going to finish up on that runner-up spot. And unofficially, we can call Kevin McAdams going to finish up third. So what a tremendous finish by these guys there, Todd. I'll throw it back to you for a brief second. We'll see if we can't get the top 3 screened out, and then we'll let you shoot on the victory lane and catch up with our winner, Chris Wetz.
Yeah, what an amazing finish for these guys at the FTF Jones Cup. And like I said, Chris Wetz, that was one of those guys on the outside looking in. And I cannot believe the 71 of Chris Wetz now taking down the win. And what an exciting change of events there. There was all kinds of contact implications there. Second, third, fourth, and fifth. Those guys fighting for every inch and every mile as these guys doing a fantastic job racing back to that checkered flag. And that's got to be a nightmare. Chris Wetz, like I said, he's got to be one ecstatic guy here this evening.
Man, can you pick a more do-or-die scenario as far as going into victory lane on a night you had to win? And Chris Wetz does exactly that here tonight. Advances to the ASUS Republic of Gamers Final 4 next week at Homestead. He'll join Kevin McAdams and Taylor Morgans, and unofficially, we'll let Justin Malello clock this in later on. But I believe unofficially, Derek Justice will be the third of those 4, joining Chris Wetz at Homestead. What an awesome race by these guys here tonight. But as custom, we'll try to catch up with our top 3 finishers, and we'll see if we can't grab the number 26 of Kevin McAdams up here to the control booth. Kevin McAdams, Phil from Full Velocity, buddy. What an awesome finish, man. You got to be worn out.
Well, I mean, it's 2 spots lower than I thought I would finish. Unfortunately, the cautions breed cautions motto definitely bit me there. But, yeah, great race. I think this is good momentum for Homestead. Completely different track, but, I mean, nonetheless, it's something that I wanted to do and see if I can run up front and keep that top spot the whole race. It was tough. It was a tough, long race. I think I did pit strategy perfectly, but the cautions bit me on the last lap. It just didn't work out like it should have, in my opinion. But that's why we run it. I definitely want to congratulate Chris Wetz on his win. That's huge for him. That locks him in to the top 4. And best of luck to him for the finale.
And Kevin, being a racist in your own right. Knowing Chris, knowing full well the situation he was in, knowing Jason in the same situation, also Maverick up there. All 3 of those guys, needing a win to advance next week. I mean, if you're behind the wheel of the 71, I don't think you could do it any differently. Him having to throw the block, knowing that you were the faster car of the 2, you dominated 99% of this race here tonight. But I gotta think if you're Chris Wetz behind the wheel, you got to do the same thing. Am I right or am I wrong there?
Oh, he did the last 10 laps was exactly what he was supposed to do. I do not, I would have done the exact same thing. You're absolutely right. He played the strategy perfectly. He took 2 tires. Jason taking no tires was a call of his own as well. And I would have done the same thing if I was in the same spot as he did. So, I mean, it was tough for me. just because I know there was a lot of implications outside of me, just because I'd already locked myself in. But I led the whole race. I want to win the last race at Phoenix for the year. So it was interesting. It was a lot of bumping and banging, a lot of damaged cars by the end of the night. But nonetheless, I think we had a great finish. Definite momentum for Homestead.
Well, it certainly is, brother. And I mean, you've already put these guys on full notice. Look out for that number 26 at Homestead. Going to be one of our final four. Going to be a guy absolutely contending for yet another FTF Jones Cup Series championship. But Kevin, you know the drill here. Give a shout to all your friends, your family, everybody out there tonight, bud.
Yeah, well, I appreciate you guys coming in. I know you guys were a little shorthanded tonight, so I appreciate your effort. I just want to thank the people that decide to watch every week. I know we try to do our best to put on a good show. I think we do and exceed our own expectations. I am gonna say definitely next week. I already have put some people on notice. I guess I got to put Chris Wetz on notice now that he's locked himself in. But Derek and Taylor, same thing. I am gonna have a little bit of a rabbit's foot. I'm going to run the same scheme I ran in 2015 when I won the championship. Then I'm going to run the Pepsi Retro car that a couple people are familiar with. I know you guys have covered the truck series for 7-Eleven, and I've run an iteration of that in there, and it's done well for me, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. Yeah, great. I'm excited. I'm excited for the rest of 2017 and looking to finish strong.
All right. Well, he's got one more trick left to make here next week at Homestead. I think, Kevin, we know for sure you're going to be a contender up there. So we'll talk to you again next week, buddy, and it may just be standing on the podium as our 2017 FTF Jones Cup Series champion. Congratulations once again there, bud, on a great run.
Absolutely. Good luck, guys, on the rest of the week. I know you guys got a busy schedule, and see y'all next Sunday.
You absolutely will. Yeah, a busy schedule indeed. But Todd Stan, I know we're not going to be able to talk to Chris Wetz here on the post-race show, but I throw it down to you. I think we can talk to our runner-up finisher, Maverick Morrow, who has to be, disappointed with that second spot, but he's also got to be happy, man. He put one hell of a race on.
Yeah, indeed. I've caught up with Maverick Morrow, driving the 57, and Maverick, you did everything you could. Good to make yourself into the final four here, and you're just coming up one spot short here this evening. Bringing home second. It was a tale of the tape here tonight, and you did like you said, you did what you needed to do. Tell us a little bit about your night. How was it out there?
Yeah, I was really struggling. They had a couple different setups that they tried before the race started. Unfortunately, they picked the one that I didn't like. It was just too tight for me. I was just cooking the right front and really struggling. Tried a little different pit strategy. I was hoping some people wouldn't make it on fuel. That didn't really work out, but kind of drove up there at the end after getting wrecked. Close battling with the 199, and yeah, just one spot short. It is what it is, but still had a decent run, so can't complain too much.
Yeah, indeed. Like you said, it's one of those battles out there. You guys are waging war there. Long green flag runs, a lot of different strategy calls out there. When you were going to pit, everything that was going out in the Speedway is a pretty busy place. And to bring home second place, you got the podium finish here tonight, being on Full Velocity Network. I know you wanted to go into that championship round of four, and it's a little bit of disappointment, but bring home second tonight. Now next week, you can look forward to going out there and just winning the race.
Yeah, just go out there and won't have the stress that the top four guys have, I guess, is the silver lining of it. But it was a good track and a good race. Got pretty spread out there for a while. I was surprised that we had any cautions. I thought it was going to go just about caution free, but cautions at the end mixed things up a little bit. Just came up one spot short.
Maverick, as customary here on the Full Velocity Network, and moving the microphone. The floor is all yours. Thank you. I would like to thank here tonight.
I just thank the league for putting on the best race that they could. I mean, we've had some really awesome racing. I feel like in these chase races, not very many cautions. A lot of good, hard, clean racing. It's been wonderful to be a part of it. So just appreciate everybody's hard work, and thank you guys for putting on a good show and doing this. It's been a lot of fun.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, bringing home second here tonight, driver number 57, the Oreo sponsor machine. That's Maverick Morrow. I'm going to throw it to Phil, who I believe is caught up with our race director here at FTF, Justin Malello.
No, absolutely right. And I'll bring Justin into the fold here tonight. Justin, I think I blew my voice out those closing laps, man. I know you were watching from up there in the control tower as you pulled the 53 in early, but uh, if you could give me the best Chris Wetz impersonation here, the excitement that guy probably had to feel crossing a start-finish line. I mean, just try to duplicate that for a second.
Man, I tell you what, Chris Wetz was excited post race. He talked to me. He gave me an awesome quote for you guys. Chris told me that I knew I couldn't race my way in on points, and the only way for me to be in the Final Four was to win. I knew I couldn't pass Kevin if I took 4 at the end, and I was hoping for more to take 2. So I was a little bit nervous. Things ended up playing out the right way for me on the final 2 restarts and had a black card coming to the white flag to make it. But somehow I held on to it. And Chris Wetz is our third or fourth person to make it into our Final Four with his win tonight. We had Kevin win at Martinsville. We had Taylor win last week at Texas. And now Chris Wetz is in by his win tonight. He swept at Phoenix. We also had Derek Justice. He got enough points. He'll be moving on to the Final Four next week at Homestead, Miami. What a shocker. Definitely thought our Final Four was going to be set. It looked like Kevin had that race in hand tonight, but Colin ended up causing 2 wrecks and parking himself, which is, per the rules, you can't cause, that many wrecks and continue. So Colin definitely shot himself in the foot there, lost the point advantage that he had over Derek heading into the final laps of the race. And then, of course, Wetz comes in there and takes the right strategy. He did exactly what he had to do. And it's great to see. I was on the edge of my seat. I did pull it behind the wall myself for about 20 laps. I had some pedal issues, but I got it back on track, and I was just watching up front, and they were beating, they were banging. Kevin ended up getting sent off of Wetz's bumper. It looked like Jason got a little bit of contact in the kink on the final lap. They were racing really, really hard for everything that they could get, and I can't ask for anything more. What a fantastic night, though.
It was, and you can't duplicate this excitement even if you tried. I mean, what better way to head us into Homestead next week? We know elimination race can be intense, especially when you throw it all on the line. I have to win to advance, and I don't know if you could ask for a better finish than that. Chris pulling off the upset. Guys like Maverick and Jason who are right there in that same scenario, playing strategy, being up there, contending for a top 3 in their own right. I mean, you guys at FTF, you got to be proud of this. You guys have really put on one amazing product, not only tonight, but through the last 8 races we have seen, man. You guys have to be absolutely proud because it has been absolutely a blast to cover. Next week at Homestead is going to be crazy.
Oh, I can't wait for Homestead. And yeah, night, along with the other 8 races that we've had so far in this playoff system, it's been a blast to be a part of and a blast for you guys to cover, I'm sure. Tonight, I mean, we had 3 people up at the front that needed to win. It was win or go home. And Wetz was able to take it to victory lane, and that's just awesome on his part. I know Jason was up there and he had stayed out on the last caution. Imagine if he would have went, he was the last guy and he would have been in, and we would have had 2 Justice brothers in there, or if Maverick would have been able to get around both of them. He ended up finishing second tonight. I mean, it's insane to think all the scenarios that could have played out, and just sitting here looking at the scenario that did play out. I'm really, really proud of these guys. It really does suck for Colin because he's been there all season long. He's a tough competitor. He definitely had a shot at taking home the title next week. I really do feel bad for him and his team. But that's the way racing is sometimes, and you can't, like we saw in the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series today, Denny Hamlin and Chase Elliott getting together, and Denny pretty much had that in hand and getting to the Final Four, and because he raced hard and I'm not going to say he took himself out, but because he raced hard with Elliott, he ended up, blowing the tire. And I feel like, Colin kind of put himself into a same predicament, racing really tough, really hard tonight and causing those 2 wrecks to park himself. But that's how it is. That's racing. We only had 4 cautions tonight, so really proud of these guys.
Well, Justin, if we don't get to talk to you next week during the finale, because I'm sure the post race next week, as far as the championship celebration goes, is going to be just, insane and crazy in its own right. So if we don't get to do this next week, thank you so much for having us here through these last 9 and what will be 10 weeks next week. We thoroughly appreciate it. It has been so much fun to cover, and congratulations to all you guys at FTF. This has been just absolutely amazing do this entire FTF Jones Cup Series playoffs. You guys have really done one hell of a job.
I appreciate that, Phil. I'll find a way to sneak into the broadcast booth. Don't you worry. We'll be talking next week. But yeah, really proud of these guys for the awesome season that we've had, and I can't wait to wrap it all up next week. Take a couple months off and come back at Daytona for the 2018 FTF season. So really looking forward to everything that we got going on, and thank you guys again. I say it every week, but thank you guys again for all you do in the broadcasting. I know you guys were shorthanded tonight, but amazing broadcast. I was listening along inside the car, and just you guys do a great job. So thank you guys.
All right. Well, thanks for the kind words there, Justin. And Todd Stanton, I mean, I apologize to anybody. I know we have a full schedule of events coming up here in the next couple of days, but tomorrow night we have an off night, which I think for me, I may have to spend all day tomorrow just not talking to make sure I save the windpipe here for all the great events we got going on. Because if anybody wants to live up to the anticipation of what these guys have done tonight, it is going to be really hard to do. That was just one outstanding race we just saw.
Yeah, indeed we do. As I changed microphone here and actually get a decent microphone on me. Sorry about the other microphone here this evening. It's brand new, but it's a different style one I'm not quite accustomed to. But Phil, they put on an amazing show here tonight, and I can't believe it. Chris Wett's bringing it home, into victory lane, doing what he's got to do to get into that final round of 4. That was an amazing job by Wetz to get in there. Also got a full slate ahead of us, like you said, Phil, earlier in the show. Tuesday night, we're over to Big Show Promotions for the iRacing Dirt Seat, and then we go Wednesday night to 7-Eleven Truck Series for their championship round, and that's gonna be interesting too, to say the least. Those guys put on one whale of a show also. Then Thursday night we go to Extreme. They crown a champion, and then Friday we go to Big Show Promotions again for the big $400 to win race show. We're not going to do the $400 away the first night. That's going to be all your heats, all your B mains, everything that's going on of Big Show Promotions. $400 to win, though. Remember that. There's I believe they were saying 160 entries, somewhere around in there last time I spoke to them. And then Saturday night, we're going to crown a champion for the Big Show Promotions, give away that $400 and the rest of the money that Big Show Promotions has to offer. Then we're going to make our way over to the SMO Hardcore for their 13th anniversary race on Saturday. That's going to be a fantastic showing. Those guys always putting on one whale of a show. And then Sunday, we're back with FTF to crown another champion. So we got a lot of champions to crown next week here on the Full Velocity Network, Phil. For this coming week, I should say, if we start on Sunday. So I'm looking forward to it myself. It's going to be a lot of work, and my voice, I'm telling you right now, is already killing me. Can't wait to the end of the week.
It is going to be insane for sure. And also, don't forget, we crown a champion. The final one will crown in this stretch at Excel Racing on November the 21st, as well as being on the air over at Big Show Promotions again on the dirt. So full schedule of events, guys. So many great leagues to come. And also, I know the guys from Hobo Racing have reached out as well. And we'll try to do all we can to accommodate their request here. But, thanks to all you guys out there on YouTube. Hope you guys have really enjoyed the show just as much as Todd and myself have, been bringing it to you guys here tonight. So, we know we get a lot of champions here to crown in the next 10 days or so. And you guys are listening tonight to the undisputed champion of our online sim race broadcast, the ultimate esport experience right here live on the Full Velocity Network. We'll see you again in about 48 hours. Good night, and we'll see you soon.